right before COVID had happened, we had had a classic AEW Dynamite on TNT matchup between the Best Bout Machine, the Iron Man, Kenny Omega, and iconically known as Boston. So Kenny Omega and the Boston went at it in a 30-minute Iron Man match. I've been wanting to talk about this for a year, and well, I missed a chance. And it's on my original channel, so I'm gonna do it on the WrestleVerse channel. And I was debating between this and Andrade news, but I'll probably wait till the Andrade thing clears up more with more details and see where he goes next. But Kenny Omega and Pac, the Bastard, went ahead and just tore it down in this 30-minute Iron Man match. Like, it was. And the disappointing thing was that it was not the main event. If this was the main event, it would have been much more. Like, it was the opening match. And luckily, it wasn't in between matches. Like, we have to know it has to either be the opening match or the closing out match. And I was at least glad that it was the opening match and not the middle of the card, because that would have been a terrible idea. But the level of this match, the details, the quality, the story they were telling, because this story was going on since All Out, where Kenny Omega and Pac went at it due to Jon Moxley's injury, leading to a matchup where Kenny Omega lost to Pac, and then they had a subsequent second match after a tag team match with Jon Moxley and Hangman, and which was a classic in and of itself. And then you got Jon Moxley versus Pac. Then that went into a draw because they knew they couldn't end the match the way that it could have went to one or the other, because they were being very pushed by AEW. And then you have to count in the whole AEW going ahead and trying to invest in Pac and looking that he was going to be a big deal before the pandemic started. Then they did the Jeff Triangle thing. And then they had a match with Kenny Omega and Pac, and Kenny Omega got the victory. So this was the rubber match. And I was like, man, this is right before Revolution. That's kind of bold to have this match. I'm like, granted, we got the awesome, phenomenal Young Bucks versus Hangman and Kenny match, but man, I think they could. I think they. I'm just glad we got this match, honestly. Like, that was how confident the AEW matchmen, I think, were, because they were like, we could give away this awesome, freaking phenomenal matchup with two of the best singles wrestlers to date in our company, and we could have them go at for 30 minutes, have a definitive beginning, middle, and end, and we could give it away on free television because we have a much bigger matchup for them. Because Pac was in the middle of a feud with Orange Cassidy Bros. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Orange Cassidy and Matt Riddle would be best of friends, the way they're so laid back with Orange Cassidy, whereas Matt Riddle's thing all bro, like, dude, do you like think the cosmic is like organic hemp? Yeah, dude, I totally get you. So, yeah, this match, tore the house down, and it's like, wow, how can they follow through with that? How can you follow through with that? And I was happy that this match did not suffer any botches, noticeable botches. There was none, and I really did believe Pac could win here, especially since Kenny never really got a victory over him until the overtime, because he got a DQ win thanks to Pac being desperate to take him down. So it's like, probably that it stings Kenny a bit, because he only got one fall and Pac got an advantage over him twice. So I gotta say, that, like, that gotta be interesting if they ever follow through with that. And this storyline lasted for 5 months, and it's like, after Pac clocks him with the chair twice, and they were stiff shots to the head, but though his hand was covering the tip of the chair. It was still brutal. It just looked brutal. And then as the ref was taken down, they have Pac go and do a shooting star press through the table. And the ref's back up in the ring, and you really think Kenny Omega is actually going to be counted out? Nope, nope, nope. He gets in barely, but the Young Bucks inadvertently kind of helped in that match. So Kenny now was like, well, he beat Pac. He just didn't do it his way. If he anything, he almost lost this match without the Young Bucks. Which honestly, I wish they kind of addressed that, because it would have been like further helping the whole he's not the best bout machine storyline they were doing, or just the perception they were giving it. And then Kenny Omega and Pac pulls him. Pac is going at it, and they're just doing. And the V triggers, they're brutal. Like even though they're not the decisive finish, you hear that crack in the air, and it's like, I'm pretty sure some skull fractures are prepared because of how brutal they make it. Even for a guy of his size and stature, imagine if someone I would love if Kenny Omega and Buddy Murphy got in the ring, because Buddy Murphy is heavier from what we've seen, and yet delivers a cracking V trigger. Yeah, it's not as impactful as Kenny Omega's, probably because they can't do thigh slapping anymore. Though that was before that, so they could still do it. It was just, there was something missing to it, I feel. But imagine if Kenny Omega and Buddy Murphy went at it, and they just did a double knee trigger to each other, and they would both be out for like a while. But yeah, and then right before Kenny Omega could, uh, but then Kenny Omega catches him in the brutalizer, is capturing the brutalizer by Pac, the bastard, and he's just choking the life out of him, and Kenny is breaking out for a couple seconds. It was just enough to get the timer to go down to 0 and causing a 1-1 draw, and fans were chanting, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and Pac, in his anger, just elbows the ref down, and Justin Roberts comes out. Now this match is scheduled to be continued under sudden death rules. And then Kenny Omega lands a V trigger, ripcord knee, and Aubrey Edwards gets in the ring and gets a chant going. Another suplex, another Kamagiri moveset, just falls on him to a near fall. And then he gets the One Wing Angel, and that's it, it's done. And Kenny Omega maintains his status as the best bout machine. And and it's got a 4.75 by Dave Meltzer. I think if you gave them an hour, like, I would have really killed for it to be an hour. And I'm pretty sure it would have gotten way beyond a 5-star, because, Dave Meltzer loves AEW a lot, to a point of being extremely biased, but that's a different matter. It says, this is a classic for me. Like, this is what fans want WWE to do, but the problem is, and I said this in my retrospective on my main channel, AEW doesn't have the burden of having 12 months of content pay-per-views, or 15 in WWE's case, sometimes beyond. Whereas WWE has to do a 12-month pay-per-view system, and they were like, okay, we got a 3-hour show, we got a 2-hour show, we got a couple of 1-hour shows, we got another 2-hour show. Okay, how do we balance this whole thing out? NXT has a little bit more fine with it, because they're just the same schedule with AEW on that pay-per-view stuff. So NXT and AEW can afford to give away these big matches and sell them on TV. And sure enough, afterwards, Pac goes up to the ramp after being lost, and he's naturally pissed off. Orange Cassidy comes out, it's like, and the fans are just popping like, he's taking off the glasses. Like, really, he could just raise his thumb up like this, and everyone will be like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh god. They're just crazy over this guy. Like, this is how people like comedy being done. Like, there's nothing wrong with wrestling comedy. R-Truth nails it. Orange Cassidy nails it. And then Pac's just like, oh god, we're dealing with this again. And then he just prepares to go with the stare down, and Pac just like kicks him him into the face. It's just ouch. Just ouch. Just ouch. So yeah, classic matchup. I'm pretty sure it was talked about for a long time because no one ever topped it. Then 2020 happened with the virus, and it's like, damn. Luckily, we got Revolution in the crowd before everything locked down. Sadly, they cursed you, Corona, and it's just so insane they did this. It's just so insane they did this. I think this was how confident AEW was and how their style of booking was going. And even then the pandemic happened and then everything just fell apart for what they had planned. Like PAC doing the Death Triangle business. Then he came back near the end of the year and reinvigorated the Death Triangle group after they were spending time with Eddie Kingston's family. We never really got full context of what exactly that faction was supposed to be ideally in terms of why he was so obsessed in trying to keep the Butcher and the Blade and yet trying to divide Ray Phoenix and Pentagon when it really wouldn't have been best to have strength in numbers because the inner circle's around still. Oh, and they got Wardlow and MJF, which now has dissolved into the pinnacle of professional wrestling. But that's not here nor there for me, but we'll have to see how. I would hope these two go at it again. Like, they already have some seeds planted, like PAC coming out and representing Ray Phoenix and leading to this reveal that Tony Khan has decided that due to certain circumstances that you, Kenny, will defend the AEW World Championship against Ray Phoenix and New Year Smash, which got sadly delayed due to the tragic passing of Brody Lee's death. I don't really want to talk about that as much as I did initially. And then we got the match, and now it's like, oh, well, we can still get Pentagon and Kenny, but now it's like, I want to see PAC and Kenny go at it on pay-per-view and see how far they can take this match. Because this will be an insane match if they do it. Just give them 40 minutes to an hour, and you got a guaranteed match of the year contest here. But that's here and here or there, and that's just hoping things for since Kenny Omega's champion at this moment. But we'll have to see down the road, especially since you got Kingston and Christian coming after him. So this was Neo Reality Entertainment presenting the WrestleVerse Kenny Omega versus the Bastard PAC in their 30-minute Iron Man match on AEW Dynamite 2020. You feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my content in the description below, and stay tuned for more, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace and take care.